Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bahashim Makakodash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishop, GMS, including the elders that came before them that tell us the truth. Shalom and salutation to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, the Aquat that are listening and learning, being a pillar of rest, the 144,000, the 1/3, the hopeful elect of Israel. All right, so hey, we're celebrating. Okay, we almost the F up out of here. All right, Jeremiah 49, and a lot of brothers are gonna. The Spirit is gonna bring this out of the prophets, right? Because this is a big sign. It's speaking, right? We'll bring that out. I'm gonna be very brief. I'm gonna get this one precept. I'm gonna show some information and precept on the way out. Jeremiah 49, right? The judgment on Edom. Okay, and what? 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh Shemil that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. And we know from our elder apostles on down taught us who the least of the flock is and what this precept means. It means Amalek is going to draw Babylon the Great what? Into World War III, right? In the Valley of Yehoshaphat, which is the Middle East. This is very specific, okay? And we've been watching for a while, but this is different. What happened in the last 24 hours is different. Everybody's talking about it. It went from, oh yeah, we're going to nuclear annihilation between Russia and the United States. Well, this just completely eclipsed what was going on before this attack. So we'll start here. I thought this was very important because this is CBS News and fair use. I claim fair use on this. Full special report. Israel what? Declares war. That's huge. So if Israel is declaring war, right, on everybody around them, on anybody in NATO, the UN, they say we don't give a damn. And that's how Amalek rolls. Israel declares war after surprise Hamas attack. It's huge. 6 hours ago. Okay, and Andrea Mitchell is about to speak, but where is this? This is 15:45. So we'll come back. I want to preface this video by playing it from the top. 15:40, and then we'll go to 15:45 right after this. Okay, so we make it big because this is beautiful. All right. I can imagine how the elder apostle Tahar feels about this. Anyway, take it away, CBS or whoever the hell you are, CNN.
This is an NBC News special report.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Laura Jarrett alongside Joe Fryer here in New York. We have breaking news out of Israel this morning where Hamas has launched a surprise attack within Israel's borders overnight. First, launching rockets from the Gaza Strip, then sending militants into the streets of the southern part of Israel. Hundreds of people have been injured. Several have been killed, but that number could be much higher. You are looking at live pictures there.
Let's go right to NBC's Raf Sanchez, who is in the south of Israel. Raf, good morning. What is the latest where you are?
Okay, so let's assess this. This is huge, okay? And let me tell you what NBC News is not doing. NBC News is not reporting on how badly Ukraine is getting their ass whooped over there. But this is all over the news right now. All right, so focus your attention on this, right? They don't even understand, right, what they're doing. Yeah, this is the beginning of the end right here. Beginning of World War III, this is the least of the flock drawing them out. Okay? And these, you got to put an I at the end of that to understand what's going on, because you'll get mixed up. Anyway, I wanted to show that. Now let's fast forward to 1545. Okay? And we'll let Andrea Mitchell give her dissertation. This guy, I mean, look, hey, it's going down. They said that they were, let's back that up just a little. They said that Hamas came in with paragliders. And I love it. I love it. Anyway, look at this. Okay, so it's on and cracking over there right now.
It is, if there are multiple, dozens potentially, of Israeli civilians being held inside Gaza.
And they have hostages. They took Amalekite hostage, Israeli hostages over there. Okay, and that's huge. This is a big black eye on Netanyahu. Okay, he's mad as hell, and he's going to come back being the devil that he is, not knowing he's going to stir up this whole hornet's nest with their counterattack. Their counterattack is going to be so overwhelming, it's going to ignite the real war. The real war is in the Valley of Yehoshaphat, according to thus saith the Lord. All right, this is what the precepts say.
It's hard to overstate the urgency with which Israel feels it will need to respond to a crisis.
You see this? This is Ishmael calling themselves the Philistines or the Palestinians, which they're not, right? But this right here, Amalek is livid and beside. Amalek right now wants to drop nukes. Right now, but they can't because they're all on the same plot of land. So they got to be careful. But this right here, look at this. This is a black eye. What is this guy doing? Is he sticking is that a weapon he's sticking down there? They're taking out this tank, this Israeli tank.
On this scale, guys.
Oh, no,
All right, Raph, stay safe there. We are going to come back to you regularly throughout the morning. We want to turn now to our Chief Foreign Affairs.
Andrea Mitchell. Now listen closely to what Andrea Mitchell says, okay? She's going to sum up everything that's going on. She's going to say that this isn't a normal rocks and sticks against more advanced weapons situation. This is something different. Okay, so this very well could be the least of the flock drawing them out. Listen to Andrea. Take it away.
Correspondent Andrea Mitchell joining us by phone. Andrea, good morning to you. I imagine this was not what you thought you would wake up to on a Saturday morning. Talk to us about the larger historical context. We heard there from Raph is the 50th anniversary of that other awful surprise attack back in 1973. Set the scene for us, if you will.
Well, Raph is exactly right. This is so unprecedented. We've had the skirmishes before and outbreaks. I was there in 2021, but there was always a trigger, something that happened. And then it was the Al-Aqsa Mosque, a holy site to the Palestinians and to all Arabs, in fact, where there had been a trigger in each of these instances, in the intifadas, the first, second, and third intifada in the West Bank. But Gaza is different. Gaza has always been, as Richard and Rolf were saying, a place, a no man's land, really, for Israelis. And there have been incidents before. The U.S. in the past, secretaries of state, Hillary Clinton in 2009, intervened, went there, negotiated a solution, but it was always small scale. Small scale, though, was always major to Israelis. Israelis take this, so seriously, and this is beyond anything that we've ever seen before. And it is on the 50th anniversary of the Yom Kippur War, which is something that people were holding conferences here. I was at one in New York on Thursday at the Council on Foreign Relations with the former Israeli Prime Minister and other officials from both countries and some of my journalist colleagues. So it was always an academic exercise on the anniversaries of the Yom Kippur War, never anything like this. And again, there was a lot of tension tension growing in the West Bank and elsewhere in the country because of growing friction between the Palestinians and the Israelis, because of the most right-wing coalition, Netanyahu's coalition, possibly taking more land, because of the settlement conflicts. But that was in the West Bank. Gaza has been something that Israel, as Richard Engel was saying, would prefer to ignore because it is ungovernable, and it's always been a tragedy from the Palestinian perspective. And there's this division between Hamas, which runs Gaza, which has always been the most radical of the Palestinians. The other piece of this is that there has been really no Palestinian strong leadership for many, many years. No negotiations really between the Palestinians and the Israelis since 2014. And they have been, tentatively talking, intensive negotiations actually, which haven't reached anything other than a framework for a very different kind of resolution of the Israeli-Arab situation between the Saudis and Israel, recognition by Saudi Arabia and Israel, which people in Israel have been saying, and some in the Netanyahu coalition, Netanyahu himself has been saying would be the end of friction in this region, something that hard right members of the coalition have opposed. But that's the kind of thing that has been discussed at the UN when we were there just a few weeks ago. Nothing has been contemplated like this. The surprise aspect of this is also shocking. We've been talking about the Iron Dome. The Iron Dome has been, virtually impenetrable. There have always been one or two stray rockets, but nothing on the scale of this. And as Roth was saying, back when one Israeli soldier was held for many, many years, 1,000 Palestinians were turned over when negotiations to try to get them out failed. They never forget. They never leave anyone behind. And here, when you have potentially soldiers as well as civilians, and all Israelis serve in the military, all except the most religious group of Israelis have required military service, men and women, for decades. Well, the entire country will be, completely seized with this. This is not something that will divide Israelis. There will be an investigation as to how they failed to see it coming, and there will be political ramifications from this. But this comes after a period of a full year of full, angry divisions involving the military, former intelligence, protests against the Netanyahu government, the coalition government. That was over judicial reform. That was over democratic principles. Nothing like this, though, could happen without uniting the Israeli citizenry. And so how did this happen? Aspects of it will come much later. This is, as Netanyahu says, war, and there's no real Palestinian leadership in Gaza, no communication with any of them in order to have negotiations to try to resolve this. This will have to be resolved, and the Americans will have to get into it. This is something that the State Department and the National Security Council are going to have to address immediately, because they cannot see America's closest ally and the real democracy in the Middle East overwhelmed. The relationship between Israel and the United States is so critical.
Boom. Stop. Rewind. That was it. Did you hear what she said right there? She said that the Americans have to get involved. Okay, now, before we listen to that again, let's read one more time what we opened with. Jeremiah 49 and 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Talk about these Edomites. Surely the least of the flock, Amalek, shall draw them, who's them? Babylonians, the Americans, out. They haven't been drawn out yet. They're being drawn out now. She just said it. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. And listen to Andrea again say what's going to happen with America as a result of this. We just read it. Okay? The least of the flock is talking about the Israelis. They're the least of the flock of Edom, the Amalekites. shall draw them out. What does it mean, draw them out? Means they're going to make their allies, the United States, help them fight. Okay, so listen to Andrea. She's going to break it down.
All right, Andrea Mitchell, thank you so much.
Salakia. Take it to about right here. Now listen to what she says.
Service men and women for decades. Well, the entire country will be, completely seized with this. This is not something that will divide Israelis. There will be an investigation as to how they failed to see it coming, and there will be political ramifications from this. But this comes after a period of a full year of full, angry divisions involving the military, former intelligence, protests against the Netanyahu government, the coalition government. That was over judicial reform. That was over democratic principles.
Okay, now, what she just said was the Israelis have a civil war going on within themselves. And this situation is going to bring them back together, right? Because they have, if they're divided, they're gone anyway. But now listen to what she says about America and how they must come to the aid of the Israelis. Listen close.
Nothing like this, though, could happen without uniting the Israeli citizenry. And so how did this happen? Aspects of it will come much later. This is, as Netanyahu says, war, and there's no real Palestinian leadership in Gaza, no communication with any of them in order to have negotiations to try to resolve this. So,
okay, Salakia. Now, she just said that Netanyahu came out and spoke and said, we declare war. And we have to look into that. Declare war on who? Okay? And he said everybody in the surrounding area. Now listen what she says, how America got to be drawn out.
Be resolved. And the Americans will have to get into it. This is something that the State Department and the National Security Council are going to have to address immediately, because they cannot see America's closest ally and their real democracy in the Middle East overwhelmed. The relationship between Israel and the United States is so critical.
All right, Andrea Mitchell, thank you.
So that's the least of the flock drawing them out. Let me look at this real quick. Netanyahu declares war. Netanyahu declares war. See where this goes. Okay, look at this. Israeli Prime Minister declares war on Palestinian militants Hamas. And who else? At war, and we will win. Okay. 101. We are at war. Okay. So this is serious. That's a big old black eye. Right? And what Andrea Mitchell was just saying is, there's going to be an investigation as to how this happened. Now, your boy, let's watch this first, because your boy, the benevolent idiot, I forget his name. We'll go to it in a second. Let's watch. Stephen Banoon is his name. Banoon said, how did this happen? Let's see. Let's go. I just want to snip it. The 101. Where's the 101? We are at war. I want to hear him say it. I don't want to read damn captions. Let's see. Israel declares war. Let's see. Guardian.
אזרחי ישראל, אנחנו במלחמה.
We are at
לא
war.
במבצע.
Salakia, let me start it again. We're going to read it because we can't understand it.
אזרחי ישראל,
Citizens of
אנחנו
Israel,
במלחמה.
we are at war. Okay? Americans ain't going to come out and say that.
לא במבצע,
not in an operation, but at war. Woo! Okay? Like Vlad and the Ukrainians, that's a special military operation. No, this nigga said we are at war. That's a different language, right? The language being used, operation, doesn't amount to war. When you go to war, you're under the rules of war, not the rules of an operation. Okay? Much different rules. So they took the step to say, this isn't an operation. This is war. Completely different set of rules. Okay?
בסבבים, במלחמה. הבוקר חמאס
This
פתח
morning,
במתקפת פתע
Hamas
רצחנית
launched
נגד מדינת
a
ישראל.
murderous surprise attack against the state of Israel and its citizens. Woo!
ונגד אזרחיה. אנחנו בתוך זה משעות הבוקר.
We have been in since early this morning, early morning hours.
מוקדמות. כינסתי את ראשי
I
מערכת
convened the heads of the security establishment
ביטחון. הנחיתי קודם כל
and ordered, first of all, to clear out the community. Oh, shit.
לטהר את היישובים מהמחבלים
That
שחדרו
have been
פנימה.
infiltrated
הפעולה
by
הזאת
terrorists.
מתבצעת
This is currently being carried out. Woo, it's going down.
במקביל הוריתי
Same
לבצע
time I
גיוס
have ordered
מילואים נרחב ולהשיב מלחמה
An
שערה
extensive
בעוצמה
mobilization
ובהיקף
of reserves,
שהאויב
and
לא
that we
הכיר.
return fire.
האויב
What? The magnitude. Woo. It's a lot. We return fire of a magnitude that the enemy has not known. You see where this is going? And they have the firepower, they have the money, and they have the backing. This is them drawing out. See this? We will return fire. We return fire of a magnitude that the enemy has not known. Okay? He's saying that because he knows he has the backing of Babylon the Great.
האויב ישלם
The enemy will pay an unprecedented
מחיר
price.
שהוא לא ידע מותו. אני קורא בינתיים לכל
Meantime,
אזרחי
I call on
ישראל
the citizens
להישמע
of Israel
בקפדנות
to strictly adhere to the directives of the Army and Home Front Command. So this is going to be going on here in Babylon the Great too. As soon as the war expands, Biden is going to have to, okay, we're joining the war with Bibi over here. So now the American citizens, what? Salakia, let me go back. See what he's saying to the citizens? See how it affects the people, not just the military. Salakia. In the meantime, I call on the citizens of Israel. So that's going to be going on here. You think they're not going to, they're in a civil war right now. So they're not together. They could have, they could have traitors, doing all manner of stuff. So what do they got to do? They got to go to martial law. In the meantime, I call on the citizens of Israel, what?
להישמע
To strictly adhere to the martial law that we got coming. See? Strictly adhere to the directives of the Army and Homeland Security. Home Front Command. Homeland Security. DHS. You understand? FEMA. All right? We're watching this thing go into a whole different level.
בקפדנות להנחיות הצבא, להנחיות פיקוד העורף. אנחנו
Saying it again. We are at war. Remember that card game? I declare war. And we will win it. You ain't winning shit. You winning them shackles.
במלחמה ואנחנו ננצח בה.
Boom! Okay? Now, let's get to the lovable idiot right here. Stephen Bannoun, Israeli News. Hamas launches massive invasion on Israel. This dude is shook. And he kept saying over and over, there's no way that Israeli intelligence didn't know about this. And Andrea Mitchell kept saying, they're going to launch an investigation onto how this happened. How did it happen? Because Israelis were at war. They're in a civil war. And she said, Andrea Mitchell mentioned how The people are against the military and how they're moving forward. They're against Bibi Netanyahu, even though he forced himself in office. And moving forward, this is what he wanted or what he thinks he wants to bring in their NWO or whatever. But this guy is saying there's no way that they didn't know that this was coming. They let it happen on some Pearl Harbor type shit, if you understand Pearl Harbor. On some Gulf of Tonkin type shit. Basically, Israel wanted to get into World War III and make it about them and the Middle East, just like it says in the scriptures, the Valley of Yehoshaphat. Now, what I want to show you, right, I'm going to blow this up. They're going to have Israeli citizens running for their lives while getting shot at.
Very, very sad situation there going on right now. But there again,
He's shook.
I guess one of the even more sad things
Right
there.
there. Look at this. Look at these people running for their damn life. They got not Hamas, Palestinians with AKs running. You on my land? Pop, 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 pop. Get the hell out. It's crazy.
Here you have Israelis just fleeing for their lives there. This
That looked like a Jake with a poncho, with a Mexican poncho. It looked like he had a garment on, fringes and all.
there again.
My wife spotted it.
I guess one of the even more sad things there. And here you have Israelis just fleeing for their lives there. This, oh gosh, I don't even know where they are at this case here, but wow. This is very, very serious situation here. This footage here coming out, let's say it doesn't matter who's right or wrong at this point, but I'll know this is when Israel.
Now he's going to switch on the volume, and you can hear the gunshot. These fools are running, fleeing for their lives. Live fire. That's what's going on over there right now.
Will counterattack every country, including the UN liberals, even from India, will post mentioning save Palestinians, etc.
Fools are getting fired on.
Yeah, it's a very serious situation right now, like I said, in Israel. So we'll try to, like I said, I'll pull things together the best I can for you today and go into this a little bit deeper as soon as I possibly can.
He's shook. Okay. The Most High is shaking up the world. And not like Cassius Clay. All right, so we'll go ahead and bring it to a close. Let's get what did I have? Let's see. Oh, the Valley of Yehoshaphat and one other. Let's get Yehoshaphat. This is how close we are to the end. Joel 3 and 2 are also the Most High. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat or Yehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Yasharallah, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Let's read that in the NLT. I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Yehoshaphat. This is the battle of Armageddon, the last battle. Okay? This is the real one, not what's going on in Eastern Europe between supposedly Ukraine, NATO, the EU, and Babylon the Great, and Russia. Okay? That's not the main one. This is the main one. This is it. Okay? And the least of the flock is drawing them out right now. Okay? I had one more, but I can't think of it now, so we'll go ahead and close. But we're watching this go down. Oh, surely, in the end, see, speak, it shall not tarry. though it tarry, it shall not. I'm not getting it. Let's see. Slovakia. Here we go. Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. But at the end, At the end, what time are we in? We're at the end. It shall speak. What shall speak? They're going into the valley of Yehoshaphat. The Most High is drawing, he's bringing all the truth and not lie. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. All right? So, Salakia. Wait out there first. My colleague came in, Salakia. So, yeah, here we are with it. Here we are with it. We're at the end. All right? And it's not tearing. We can see it. All right? We're looking at the end. So with that, we hope the elect ratify you brothers and sisters with that shalom.